This is Miss Hyndman as usual, and my guest star today is
me, Miss Chua. Nice to see you.
So Miss Chua, we usually start off with a middle school question.
Okay.
So what was the one time in middle school you got in trouble, or one of the times?
I got in trouble in middle school because there was this kid who I had 5 out of my 6 classes with, and he wore the same shirt for I think 10 days in a row, and so I went around saying that he had germs, and I got in a little trouble for that.
Got it. But other than that, you were pretty.
Yeah, other than that, I never got in trouble.
Yeah, so it was your one time.
One time.
Well, today we're going to learn about percents. We already looked at percents a little bit in the part to total, but we're going to do a closer look at some different kinds of percent problems. So for our first one, we're going to be doing given a percent, find the amount. So when we know the percent, finding the amount. Chua, do you mind reading this question out loud?
Sure. Ursula surveyed 50 classmates about their favorite ice cream flavors. Each classmate chose one flavor. The results are shown in the circle graph.
Perfect. What's your favorite ice cream?
I like strawberry Haagen-Dazs specifically.
Okay, so you'd be in this category.
Yes.
And we're going to be looking at how many more of Ursula's classmates chose chocolate than vanilla. So here we have chocolate. Here we have vanilla. And they did something tricky. They did not give us a percentage of the kids that wanted vanilla. Do we know how much percent is the total percent for everything?
It's 100%, right?
Yeah, it is. All percents are out of 100. So we can actually figure out the percentage that vanilla, if we figure out how many of the chocolate plus the strawberry plus the coffee, we can, who likes coffee ice cream in middle school? So we're gonna figure out how much is already taken up by those 3. So we'll go ahead and add them up. And we get, I like to group, so 10. Chua is faster at adding than me. So let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 74. Did you get 74?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, perfect. So now that we know that it's 74% for all of these, how could we figure out how much for vanilla?
We do 100 minus 74.
Perfect, good. We're gonna subtract 74 from 100. And that will give us our vanilla percent. And probably she'll beat me again because I'm slow. I even use my fingers sometimes. So 9 minus 7, we got 2. All right, did we both get 26%?
Yes.
Okay, so 26% for vanilla. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and find both of them because we wanna know how many more. So we need to figure out, first of all, how many people like chocolate. So how many of the students like chocolate? So we know that 42% of the kids like chocolate. So let's even write chocolate up here, chocolate. So 42% would be 42 out of a total, all percents are out of how much?
100.
100. So that's our first ratio. 42% would be 42 out of 100. We want to know, so here's my percent proportion. I need my student proportion. How many students out of the 50 surveyed? So we only asked 50 kids. I personally, if I see an easy way to do this, instead of cross multiplying, I do. So meaning to go from 100 to 50, what could I divide by? Divide 100 by to get to 50.
Divide by 2.
Good. So if I divide the bottom by 2, I can just divide the top by 2. And we get half of 42, which is?
21.
Good, 21. So 21 students like chocolate. Now we need to figure out how many like vanilla. So what do I need to do first, Chua, if I'm gonna figure out vanilla?
I'm going to put my proportion out of 100. So it'd be 26 over 100.
Good, so there's my percent proportion. And how many students did we survey?
50.
Good. We can do the exact same strategy again. So we're just gonna divide by 2. Make our lives easier than having to cross multiply and divide. And we have, how many people like vanilla?
13.
Good. So we know that 13 students like vanilla and 21 students like chocolate. and we want to figure out how many more like chocolate. What should I maybe do now if I'm figuring out how many more like chocolate than vanilla I'm comparing?
Don't you subtract?
Yeah, we're going to subtract. So 21 minus 13. Yeah, in 7th grade we get quite a few more steps, right? Oops, I didn't subtract right. I do, let's see, 7, 8. Yay, 8 students. All right, our second example is percent change. These are kind of weird because we actually need to do something, like they don't give us the number that's going to be our part, and I'll explain. But let's go ahead and read our percent change problem.
The price of a video game was reduced from $60 to $45. By what percentage was the price of the video game reduced?
Okay, so here we're looking for how much it got reduced. So we say that the 60 is our OG, not the original Gangster, but our original price, our original. And then now it's $45. So it went from 60 to 45. How can I figure out how much it went down? It was reduced.
Don't you subtract 45 from 60?
Yep. So we can just subtract 60 minus 45. And we can figure out how much this video game went down in price. So it was reduced, how much?
It was reduced $15.
All right. That will help us figure out the percent it was reduced. So we have a ratio here. The amount reduced, $15, is how much it went down in price over the total or original price will get us the percent it was reduced over, what is the original percent for all percents?
100.
100. So it went down $15 out of $60. Now we can figure out the percent it went down out of 100%. I don't know an easy way to do this other than cross multiplying, because I don't know what I would divide or multiply 60 by to get 100. So we're going to use the proportion strategy. So 60 times x, 15 times 100, and then we would just divide by 60. So 1,500 divided by 60. Uh, 60 goes into 300. I always even look at my answer choices. So if I know the first one's a 2, I bet you it's a 5 because there's a 25% option and 25%. They purposely, which question do you think they put in there for people that forgot to actually find the percent, that just subtracted? They got the amount it reduced.
A, because we got a 15 as one of our steps.
Correct, yeah, and that happens a lot. We're like, oh, 15, there, I got my answer. But we need to make sure that we're always getting a percent, not just the amount it went down. All right, you guys did great. You did great, Chua. You're very knowledgeable. I know science is like math's cousin.
Yeah.
But next, kiddos or 7th graders who are very, very grown up, we're going on to the you try. When you're done with your you try, check it and then move to the practice, okay? But you guys are doing really, really good. I know that you guys are gonna ace the star.